I want to look at something that normally disturbs students, and it is the concept of markup and margin in profit calculation. Now, whenever you need the selling price of anything, how is it determined? It is simply this: selling price of anything is always the cost of making the product plus the profit. However, there are two ways of calculating the profit. Profit can either be calculated as a margin, or profit can be expressed as a markup. So what is margin and what is markup? Now, margin is when profit is expressed as a percentage of the selling price. Profit is expressed as a percentage of selling price. So under margin, the profit is expressed as a percentage of the selling price. Then for markup, profit is calculated or expressed as a percentage of the cost. So we can have a look at a question on this. So let me give you this example. Assuming the selling price of an item is maybe $9,000. That is the selling price. So now this is the question: calculate the profit if, now we want the profit if profit is expressed as part A, if profit is 20% margin, or profit is 20% but it is a markup. So that's what we are going to do. Now we start with part A. We've said for margin, how is profit? Profit is a percentage of the selling price, and they have given us the selling price, which is 9. So how much is the profit? So for part A, let me call it profit margin. Profit margin, we said it is calculated as the selling price or sales value times the percentage of the margin. So it would be 9,000 times 20%. And how much do we get? So it is simply 9 times 20%. I do shift, then the percentage is here. So the profit is 18. Then we look at part B. Now part B is the one for markup. And how do we calculate profit markup? We said this is when profit is expressed as a percentage of the cost. So I will use this formula from this formula here, which is selling price is cost plus the profit. So what is selling price? It is given as 9,000. So this is equal to cost. We don't know the cost. I can call it C. Then plus profit is a markup. So what is markup? It is when profit is expressed as a percentage of the cost. So this would be 20% of the cost. So we can use the calculator to solve for us. Now the calculator is a 991 ES. 991 ES. It is the one that can solve for you, not FX. So I'll just put this the way it is. So it is 9,000. Then I put equals. How do I put equals? I place alpha, then equal signs, alpha. But now which equal signs? They are up here. So alpha puts whatever is in purple, then shift puts whatever is in orange. So now I have to put C. How do I put C? Now this calculator has X instead of C. I'll put alpha, then X is the closing bracket, then I have to add on 20%. So I do 20 shift, percent is opening bracket, then I have to put my alpha X. So when it solves for me and I get 75. Now on the normal calculator, you have to do an extra step, which is you have to place shift, then solve, then you place equal signs. And if you do that, you get your cost. So cost, which is C, it is 75. But what do we want? We don't want the cost, we want the profit. So if we want the profit is 20% of the cost. So this would be 20% times 75. So I get 20% times the 75, which is 15. So my profit is 15. Now some people are not good in doing this math, so markup might be hard for you. However, I have a simplified formula for you, and the simplified formula is simply this. When you want profit markup, it is, so if you want the profit in terms of a markup, it will always be the markup percentage divided by 1 plus the markup percentage. So it is times the sales value. So this would be sales value times this. So the sales value is given, it is 9 times markup percentage is 20% divided by 1 plus the 20%. If I use my calculator, that 991 ES, I just put direct. So it is this times fraction. I do 20% shift. Then I go down. I do 1 plus 20%. I do shift percentage. So you see, I still get the same answer, which is 1,500 as the profit under the markup. However, some people have what I might call the digital calculators. Now for digital calculators, how do you calculate this? If you put direct, it would be 9 times bracket 20% is 20 divided by 100. Then I have to do divide by 1 plus 20%. 20% is divided by 100. I close the bracket and I get that wrong answer. So you see, the other calculator is far better. You can put the percentages the way it is. Now if you have this, I still have something simplified for you. You just do this. It is 9,000. Ignore the percentages and you just do 20 divided by 100 plus. This time you do 100 plus. So here you will be dividing by 120. So if we do that, we get 9 times, we can put the brackets, 20 divided by 120. So you see, I get my 15. So in summary, if you want profit markup, you always do selling price or sales value times the markup percent. You can leave the percentage divided by 100 plus the markup. So it is simply that. So margin is direct, selling price times profit percentage. Markup, you have to go through this. So stop there.